Passato Prossimo, you say? Let's go! In this video we're gonna cover everything you need to know to recognize, understand and form Passato Prossimo in Italian. It's going to be a comprehensive guide, so sit back, relax and take notes. First of all, Passato Prossimo is one of the many past tenses that we have in the Italian language. It is by far the most used in Italian, and this is why when people in Italy say that they're talking at the past, they're actually talking at Passato Prossimo. To form Passato Prossimo, you need two things. First, the present tense of either essere or avere. Second, the past participle of the verb that you want to use at the past. For example, io ho dormito is I slept. Io sono andato is I went. But let's try now to understand how to form it. Essere or avere. You will use essere for what we call intransitive verbs, or verbs that do not allow a direct object. The easy rule on when to use essere is that all the movement verbs in Italian use essere. Movement means going from point A to point B. Movement does not mean just moving your hands around. Verbs that qualify as movement are andare, venire, salire, scendere, and so on. On the other hand, we will use avere for all other cases. The official rule is that you use avere for all transitive verbs, aka all the verbs that allow a direct object. Mangiare, parlare, dormire, cantare, and so on. Now that you know when to use essere or avere, let's have a look at the conjugation. Essere, io sono, tu sei, lui lei è. Noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. Avere, io ho, tu hai, lui lei ha. Noi abbiamo, voi avete, loro hanno. The second thing needed to form Passato Prossimo is the past participle. And there is a simple rule on how to form it. All the verbs ending in are will have past participle in ato. Verbs ending in ere, in uto, ending in ire, in ito. For example, the past participle of mangiare will be mangiato. Sapere, saputo, dormire, dormito. Unfortunately, there are many Italian verbs that have an irregular past participle. For example, essere stato, dire, detto, leggere, letto, prendere, preso. All these ones are irregular because they do not follow the standard rule of ato, uto, ito. Before doing a few examples together, there is one more thing that you need to know. First of all reflexive verbs use essere when you're forming Passato Prossimo. Verbs such as svegliarsi, alzarsi, lavarsi, they will all use essere. I woke up in Italian would be mi sono svegliato. The other thing you need to remember is that whenever you use essere, you need to change the ending of the Passato Prossimo based on the gender and on the number of the subject. Let's have a look at an example. Andare, to go, is a movement verb. This means that to form the past we need essere, so present tense of essere plus past participle of andare. I went would be io sono andato. You went, tu sei andato. Now be careful, because we are using essere here, we need to pay attention of the gender and number of the subject. Because I am a man, the ending of andare will stay ato. If I was a woman, the ending would change in ata. I went for a woman would be io sono andata. And if we are talking at the plural, we have two options. They went could be loro sono andati, masculine plural, or loro sono andate, feminine plural. However, be careful, the endings do not change when you have avere. Let's have a look at another example. Mangiare, to eat, is not a movement verb. Because of that, we will use avere. So present tense of avere plus past participle of mangiare. I ate, in Italian, would be io ho mangiato. And even if I was a woman, I would still say io ho mangiato. The same logic applies for the plural. They ate, in Italian, will always be loro hanno mangiato. And finally, there is one more thing that you guys should be able to do. And that is understand and recognize when to use Passato Prossimo. Essentially, you will use Passato Prossimo in Italian every time you have a specific moment in the past. For example, yesterday, Thursday, 2 months ago, very specific moment. You will also use Passato Prossimo for action that happened in a moment. For example, I saw a dog. Ho visto un cane. It's not specific when you saw the dog, but the action of seeing the dog happened at a single moment. Let me know in the comments if you still have doubts, questions, or things to clarify. I hope this was helpful, and as always, enjoy learning Italian.